tune into Spiritual Beauty Ministry for the third time because my everything is just going crazy for some reason. But that's what happens. The name of this topic is called backup plan. That's exactly what happens with a backup plan. It eventually will die on you. So anyway, so today's word is has to become your backup plan. And if I want to let you guys know that the book I'm going to be coming from is Genesis chapters 15 and 16. So if you want to follow along to get the understanding of this story, even after you watch this video, this will very well be good for you. So I don't know if you've been in a place to where you've been trying to have something happen for you, or you've been waiting for something and it still hasn't happened for you, and you just find yourself going to that backup plan. You go to that back, okay, well, if A does not happen, this is what's going to go, this is going to go down. And so you start making these plans around what you were seeing not moving, and then you find yourself still waiting, or either you find yourself having a failed backup plan because why? It was not God's hands. And when we go to a backup plan, what I noticed is that when I have found myself looking to a backup plan, it was that somewhere I feared what would be. And so I found myself trying to beat it before it happens, if that makes sense. I found myself trying to beat myself to it before, what may happen, if I continue to wait. And so I'm like, I'd rather have this to fall on versus not having anything to fall on. So, this is what I'm finna go do. And so that's what happens, that with a backup plan, you want to keep yourself in control. That's why I found myself with my backup plans. I try to keep myself in control because I don't want it to be uncomfortable. I don't want it to be, not to my liking. So I make my backup plan work for me because I don't want to go through the uncomfort that comes with waiting. And so that's when I resort to a backup plan. Now, and then also I noticed that with backup plans, what I do is that if God has told me something, I have yet to see it, and it's like, okay, well, God, you're not moving fast enough. And so I go to my backup plans to try to make it push quicker. But those things have failed me. And then I notice is that when God gives you a word, you have to not allow your plan or the plan of others that they may have for you to move you. You have to know, I know what it looks like. I know what it seems like, but this is the word that God has given me. And so I'm not going to allow what you think or what I feel or what my thoughts are telling me to move me from the place that God has told me to keep myself. Just wait. So in the book of Genesis, right now, God has come to Abraham and he's told him, this time, his name is Abram. God hasn't changed his name yet. His name is Abram. And he tells Abram, he's like, okay, I'm going to give you this and give you that. And you are going to have a son. And then Abram was like, how am I going to receive all this, when I haven't even had my own child? And he's trying to get understanding, like, God, how can this be? But God is basically saying, like, trust me, I got you. You're going to have a baby. So this is when, so it says that Abram believed the Lord, and, he credited it to him as his righteousness. So God would let him know this is going to happen for you because of these things right here that you've done and things like that. And so Abraham, it says that Abram believed the Lord. This is chapter 15. Now go to chapter 16. Abram's wife is at a place to where, I am tired of waiting. I want a baby. I don't care what I got to do. This is the backup plan that we finna go do. So what you're gonna do, Abram, is that you're gonna go sleep with our maid servant, and you're gonna get her pregnant, and that's how we're gonna have our baby. And it says that Abram agreed. How is it that Abram went from believing the Lord to agreeing with what his wife just gave him an option of? So he went from believing God's promise to being bound by their plan. That's what I'm saying. He went from believing God's promise to being bound by their plan. Holy Spirit, lead me. What do you do when God gives you a word that is for you, but you allow your backup plan to move you? What do you do when God gives you a word that is for you, but you allow your backup plan to move you? Now, I wonder, why was it so easy for Abram to just brush off what God has already promised him, to go to a plan that Sarai, his wife, has placed in front of him? And the only way a person can he went from believing what God has said to changing his mind to now agreeing to what she is saying. And what's one thing I can see is that at times when God gives us words, we try to justify those when things happen, like, oh, maybe this is the word that God was talking about. We try to justify it so it can make sense to us while we're in our wait. And so we try to expedite what God is saying, be still in, but we're trying to expedite what we are in the wait on. We're trying to expedite the thing to come to us. And so how we do that is that we allow backup plans to come in. We allow backup plans to come in. And the thing about a backup plan is that 9 times out of 10 that those backup plans are not at all God's hands. We get those backup plans because it's those backup plans gives us a sense of comfort. Especially for me, I can admit that when I made backup plan, it's giving me comfort. It's giving me that, okay, if this don't happen, at least I got this. It's filling me where my faith is failing me. So my backup plan is filling me where my faith is making me feel empty. And so it's like I begin to abandon my faith because I have yet to see anything moving. And so then I go to my backup plan because the backup plan is what's filling me. But the thing about what's filling you in the midst of your waiting is that you have to make sure that is that thing that's filling you, is it God's hands? Did God did God align and order the steps of this plan that you have conjured up? You have made, you know what, this is what's going to happen. So we're going to first go here and this is going to go over this A, B, C, D, E. And you just got all of these plans of how things are going to work themselves out. But have you consulted God on any of those plans? One thing I can say is that in my storm that I've been in, which has been 7 months was a storm I've been in, and for how long I've been in it. And I noticed, and I can look back at the months, there were plans that I have made. There were plans that I thought were going to fall through, but nothing moved. I even found myself losing. There were even plans that I invested money in, all types of stuff was within those plans, to only have those plans fail me. And then I found myself at a loss. And and at that time, of course, you're mad, like, I'm losing right now. I don't like that feeling. And it's like this, I thought this was going to turn out this way. I thought this was going to work out this way, but to only find myself regretting that I should have never made that plan. I should have trusted God's hands. And that's exactly what happened in the book of Genesis. So as Sarai, she wants Abram to go and have sex with the maidservant, right? And so Abram, he does just what his wife asked. And so when he goes and have sex with the servant, and the servant has the baby, and his name is Ishmael, Sarah finds herself being at a bitter place. She begins to hate the plan that she set up now. She begins to hate Hagar. And what was so confusing was that, how are you going to hate the woman when you told her to lay down with your husband to make a baby that you wanted? See, in the moment, a backup plan sounds good. It feels good. You're like, this about to happen for me. It feels good. But when it finally comes when it finally comes to you, then you find yourself like, this is not what I imagined it to be. I invested, I pictured this, and this is what I have received. I don't know if Sarah, if she pictured this big happy go family, what it was she pictured and imagined when, she's sitting back, and as she's sitting back, she's seeing this woman carrying a baby that she cannot even carry. For 9 months, she's seeing it, and it's making her jealous. It's making her angry. It's making her bitter. And it's just like, this is the backup plan that I chose. I wish I would have just never even opened up that door. Just like I gave my word yesterday. Be careful of the doors that try to tempt you. Just because it opens up to you, just because that idea opens up to you, or that plan, or that suggestion, or that person that's speaking, just because it opens up to you does not mean you have to walk through. Consult God. Maybe before she had went through with that backup plan, she should have asked God, is this your hand? Because she would have never been in that mess that she was in if she would have asked God, is this your plan? Now she is left having to look with and deal with something that she has brought in. See, that's what happens with backup plans, is that we bring in things. We bring in things because we do not want to go through the wait. All Sarah had to do was just wait. God had already told Abram, hey, you're going to have a son. He didn't tell him when he was going to have it, how he was going to have it. But that did not, just because God gives you a word does not mean that you just go and just begin walking. And you got to still seek God's instructions, seek his answers and his questions. Seek those things when you are about to walk either that word out or that word is now at your feet. God, how do I walk this word out? It's because God gives us words and God gives us promises. Does not mean that we just begin to take the steps in our own leading. We're to still consult him when we are in that wait, when that word is at our feet and it's time for us to move. God, how do you want me to walk this word out? Abram should have known God had just given you a word, and it says that you believe the word that God gave you. Then all of a sudden you get to a place where a person is battling with what has yet to happen for them. And then all of a sudden now Abram is pulled into the very place that Sarai is in. And then now he's pulled into her backup plan. And that's why, like I said, when God gives you a word, you don't just start just moving. You okay, well, God said this right here. No, you still, it does not matter. You still consult God on that word that he gave you. Because there is a way. See, God told Abraham he's going to have a son. But he did not tell him how he was going to receive that son. All he says is it was going to come from your own body. And so I can see how Abram would say, okay, it come from my own body. So I mean, it's going to come from me having to, of course, go and, do what I got to do. So maybe me having sex with this maid servant is what God was talking about. And that's how the son is going to come. Okay. And so when the Hagar has the son, it's still making Abram believe this is the one. This is it. But it wasn't. He was Ishmael, which was the son that Abram had with Hagar, was not the promise, was not the covenant child that God was talking about. And so you have to be very careful with that, because you could have a backup plan that you see that's working. Oh, this backup plan is working. Okay, it's moving. Doors are still open. Okay, I got this. But the thing about it, the things were still moving with Abram too. But but Ishmael was never the son that God was talking about. Ishmael was never the door that Abram was supposed to have walked through. But at the end of the day, God still found a way to use it. But the child was going to come from Sarai. Even though, that's what I said, even though you are in a wait and it seems as though you are empty. Because I know what it feels like to be in a wait and see nothing moving. To see you, it's like you're in this wait and you are just as empty as it can be. And so, yeah, the doors of temptations are going to come to you. And they're going to present themselves at your feet. But you have to know that I know that this backup plan has presented itself at my feet. But God, is this your hands? And so that's why that's what you have to understand is that, and as I was reading, is that there's another story also in the Bible, and it's about Hannah. I had to compare the two. I'm like, okay, Sarah, she was a woman who wanted to have a baby and she couldn't have a baby. Hannah was also a woman who wanted to have a baby and she couldn't have a baby. But there was a difference between Sarah and there was a difference between Hannah. Sarah went to her backup plan. Like, I want a baby. It has yet to happen. I'm going to go do what is best for me. Sarah went to her backup plan. But Hannah, she went to God and said, God, I can't do this without your hands. Because it says when Hannah was at a place where she could not have a baby, she prayed to God for him to move. She went to him. She sought him in her place of emptiness. Are you seeking God in your place of emptiness? Because if you are seeking God in your place of emptiness, then you will, it's going to have to take, when you seek God in your place of emptiness, there's going to have to come a place, there's going to have to come a surrendering from you. You're going to say, God, I'm seeking you. This is what I wanted from you. But God is still wanting you to surrender to him. Because the thing that you are wanting, it has to align and it has to match up to the you that he is called to become. And so Hannah, she was, God, I can't do this without your hands. But Sarah, she was, okay, I got to find a backup plan. Which one are you? Are you Hannah? God, I can't do this without your hands. Or are you Sarah? God, you taking too long. I have to go to my backup plan. Okay, so what do you do when you are standing in faith for God to move? Which one are you going to? Where do you stand when it comes to waiting? It's easy to accept a backup plan in the wait when you don't see things moving your way. It is easy to accept a backup plan in the wait when you don't see things moving your way. Like I said, you begin to make up all these plans of what's going to lie. Okay, so this is what's going to happen, and we're going to do this right here. You got this whole game plan, but none of this game plan have you went to God about it. And then you wondering, why did it fail me? Why did it leave me? Why did I lose? Why did I not win? Because God, his hand was not in it. Have you become shut up in your wounds? WOUNDS. That's another reason to why many of us go to backup plans, because it's like, you know what? I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of waiting. And it's just like, you're thinking that since, okay, well, this backup plan didn't work, I'm going to go to the next backup plan. How many backup plans do you have to go through? And how many times is God going to have to allow it to fail you for you to see that God is showing you that it is not going to work the way that you are wanting it to work? God will allow you to be your back to be so up against the wall to where you have no choice but to fall to your knees for you to receive. God will allow your back to be so up against the wall, so you have no choice but to fall to your knees for that thing you are wanting to receive. And it's like, and when the thing about it, from what I noticed in my way, and I kept on trying to go to these backup plans and everything, and it's like my back was so up against the wall. I'm like, nothing was working. At first, for a minute, it'd be going good. My plan was working. I'm like, okay, yeah, so check off my list. Check off my list. This is working. This is working. But then the very things that was working began to all of a sudden turn against me. And I'm just like, what the world? Why is this plan not going according? Because why? I did not remove my control. And that's why many of us go to our backup plans, because when you have a backup plan, you are in control. It can go your way. But when God is when it's his way and his plan, all you gotta do is just stay waiting. And so it's like when you're in that waiting place and you're, God, order my steps, and I'm gonna just go your way and not my way. It's gonna take you having to humble yourself. You got to humble yourself, because your control is gonna be gone. Your control is gonna be gone. I remember when my backup plans failed me. This is like I told you, like, this was a 7-month storm that I was in. My backup plan failed me, and the only weapon I had was to be still and wait. The only weapon I had was to be still and wait. And I'm looking at everybody around me and everything around me. What they have seems greater than me. The weapons they have seem greater. My enemy's weapons seem greater than mine. And I'm like, God, do you not see what is against me? All I have, the only weapons I have, I'm waiting, and I'm trusting you in your plan. But the only weapon I have right now is to be still and waiting. That's all I had. But what I came down, that was the greatest weapon, because being still, that is a weapon in itself. That is because you have to humble yourself in the still. God says, "Be still and know that I am Lord." You have to humble yourself in a still place, and to know that my control had to die in order for what God was calling to arrive. My control had to die. God had me at a place to where I want your back to be so up against the wall to where you can't have no choice but to trust me. See, when you have a backup plan, it's like like I said, it's that, okay, if this happens, at least I got this. But I was at a place to where if this happens, all I have is this. All I have is worship. All I have is prayer. All I have is reading his word. That's all I have. All I had was to be still. I didn't have the weapons that everybody else had to fight the war that they had when they were in there. I didn't have those weapons. I didn't have. I'm like, God, I need more, God. Do you not see the enemies that are rising against me? I need more weapons, God. I need you to move a little bit quicker. But God said, I will begin to move when you become still, when you become humble, when you remove your control, and you let me do what I do. And I kid you not, I've invested and when I've been in this way, I've invested in plans. I've seen myself lose. I've seen myself, just do everything I can do to try to make the backup plan that I had work for me. But it only kept failing me. And to see myself, I got to a place I said, you know what? That's it. I'm done. And I surrendered. I surrendered from my backup plan. And I said, God, what do you want to do? How are you going to step in? And that's when I had, it's not going to feel good because it's going to feel like when you release your control from your backup plan, when you let your backup plan go, it's going to make you feel like, oh my God, I don't see how this can work out. It's like your thoughts are going to eat at you. Everything around you, your enemy's going to make you think that you lost. It's going to be so hard. I'm not going to lie to you. But you have to stay in position. You have to know that despite the opposition, I'm going to stay in position. Despite the opposition, I'm going to stay in position because God has given me a word. God has given me a word. And I'm not going to allow the backup plan that seems convenient, that seems the best to have me to move. I'm not doing it again. And so I let go of my backup plan. And I just kept myself at a still place. And like I said, I've seen God move more now than before. I've seen God move more when I released my backup plan. And I said, here you go, God. I'm putting it in your hands. I'm done. Here you go. I've seen God move more. I've seen more. I've seen more. I spent like my backup plan was this long and I seen God barely move. But when I gave and I said, God, here is my backup plan. Here it is, God. I'm letting my backup plan go. I'm putting the storm I'm putting my enemies, I'm putting everything that is against me. I'm putting it in your hands. I seen God when I gave, let's say I was doing my backup plan this long, but when I finally gave it to God, it didn't even take God that long. It was like my backup plan was this long, but when I put it in God's hands, this is what I had. And God moved more with this. He moved more with this than he did with this. He moved more with this than he did with this. This took me having to be humble. This took me having to be still. This took me having to get to a place of my faith. It was everything. It was everything. This right here was, I noticed that, that's all I'm saying. I noticed that, what was I? When there is a way when you're willing to wait, and when God forces you to wait, it is such a difference. When I remember when I first got the walking guide, I remember I had gave up. Well, God, I gave up sex for that whole. I was willing to do that. I gave up that sex. I wanted to see who I can be. I want to see a different me. So I was willing to do that. I was willing in that wait. But what do you do when God brings a weight that you didn't ask for? That's a word in itself. My God, what do you do when God brings you a weight that you didn't ask for? See, there was a difference when I had the willing wait. The willing wait was I was willing to wait. I surrendered to the wait. God, have your way. Here you go. But when God put a weight in my life that I did not ask for, I fought against it. I did not surrender to it. I kept going my way. Versus when I was willing to wait, I was going, because I was giving him what I wanted to. I gave God what I wanted him to. Well, I wanted to give him in the wait. What do you do when God takes from you, and He wants you to give something to Him in a wait that God, I'm not ready to give that to you. I'm not. It's a difference, but that's a word, and that's a word another day. But like I was saying, guys, is that you have to know that your backup plan will only go so far. That's the message for today. Your backup plan will only go so far. You can plan your life out. You can plan, like, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna do this. You can plan it to the T. You can dot every I, you can cross every T. But it is only going to end up one way. It's either God gonna allow it to fail you. And when God allows it to fail you, you're gonna have no choice but to say, like I said, He's gonna get your back so up against the wall, till you have no choice but to surrender. It's either gonna be your will, His will, or it's gonna be your way. And what I notice is that God will let you keep going your way for so long. And then you're gonna get to a place to where God's he gonna be sitting and waiting. He gonna be sitting and waiting. Are you finished? Are you done yet? Are you tired of it failing you? Because I'm waiting on when you ready to surrender, I'm here. That's how I see God. When you're ready, let me know. Because I already know how it's gonna turn out. So let me know when you're done doing your plans, and let me know when you're ready to put it in my hands. And like I told you, I seen God move more when I gave Him this. When I had my own backup plan and I was trying to do this. I seen God move more. And so if you're at a place and you are trying to do it your way, like I said, it's only gonna end up two ways. It's either gonna have to be your way or it's gonna be God's way. And your way is only gonna take you so far. It's only gonna take you so far. And also with backup, you have to be also knowing is that when you are in a backup plan, that it's like backup plans. I know it came with, I had all these, these rules of, but it's like I limited myself to this box, my backup plan. But when I put on, and I noticed a difference, because I'm like, I can't, okay, in order for this to happen, I'm gonna have to do this right here. This gonna have to be right here. It's like everything, like this gonna have to be, this gonna have to be. It's like everything was, but then it's like it was so much. It was just so much. It's like, it just was too much, and then nothing was going how I wanted it. And so, but when I noticed with God's plan, I wasn't limited. It's like with God's plan, God will make the impossible possible. God will turn the no to yes. God will open up the door that was closed. It's like everything will begin to flip itself. You're not going to have to try to do like I said, what I did before, is try to do men's method. When God is men's method and God's miracle, two different things. Men's method is going to come with a backup plan. It's going to come with how you got to do it in order for it to happen. But with God's miracle, you're going to have to just be in a still place, and you're going to have to be a still, waiting, surrendered, feeding yourself with His word, and just watch what He's going to do. That when God's miracle, there is no timing. There is no ABCD. There is just watch Him show out. Watch Him show out. God says, I'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Watch God show out. Watch God show out. And the very thing that denied you, the very thing that tarnished your name, everything that tried to destroy you, watch God's miracle show up for you when you put your plan in His hands. You guys be blessed. Thank you for tuning into Spiritual Beauty Ministry. And as always, God is before all things, and in Him all things hold together, even when it seems as though it's falling apart. See you guys next time. All right. Peace.